The next Season 25 for Diablo 3 is right around the corner and you're probably questioning yourself, what class am I going to play? And who will be the most powerful? Well, you've come to the right place. In this video I'll discuss all starter sets, all their capabilities with their recent patch notes, and I'll give my summary at the end of this guide. Please keep in mind that this video is not intended for endgame progression and only covers the beginning of Season 25. The ranking list is also based on the set performance itself without overpowered seasonal theme. Everything I mention here is my personal opinion and it may not be the same as yours, so please, if you have any ideas, thoughts or questions, leave a comment below and make sure to follow my channel for more Diablo content, reviews, edits and guides. Alright, let's get started. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Fishbear here, welcome to my starter set guide for the Season 25. As you might know already, the new season features soul shards and several reworked items for different classes. Basically, these shards can massively improve your toughness, increase your damage output and push your build beyond its limit. According to the leaderboards, all classes will be able to hit Soul Greater Rift 150 within a few weeks, even with the underpowered builds with some exceptions. Some class sets will shine in mid-season, some are just for a fresh start. Hedrick's Gift is exactly what is needed to get on your feet as soon as possible, grind for new set pieces and soul shards that randomly drop around Sanctuary, and later painlessly switch to another more popular build and, depending on your final goal, continue your journey. So let's now begin with the least preferable class to start this season, and this class in my opinion is Crusader. There are literally zero changes in the recent patch for Crusader sets or legendary items, so it basically stays on the same spot as before, but this time Crusaders will receive Thorns of Invoker set. It is an absolutely incredible set for tanking high level great rifts and killing soul enemies with your thorns. But that's the issue here, this set is designed mostly for soul playing and it lacks abilities with area damage that can help you to speed farm rifts or bounties. While with this set you can use Bombardment and Steed Charge for extra speed and faster clears, it is still not enough to compete with other classes that perform much better in every aspect of the game. Thorns of Invoker also heavily relies on cooldown reduction and mobs density, so the best use for it is in Soul Greater Rifts. As a side note, making a build around Invoker set is relatively easy, all you need is to find Belt of the Trove for Bombardment and Boyarsky Chip to apply more Thorns damage. Some late game items will include Crimson set, Flail of the Charge with the shield and Traveler Splashed for standstill damage. If you really like Thorns build, consider switching Invoker to Bombardment account build layer, which is way more versatile than this starter set. On the 6th position we have Barbarian with Might of the Earth set. The Leapquake build is quite strong for clearing large amount of enemies with not much effort, however it may require some time to collect all required legendary items to start doing high tier damage. And the list of these legendary items include Girdle of Giants Belt, Blade of the Tribes, Loot Socks and Battle Might Ring, which can be acquired early from Kadala or while leveling. And if you wish to play with Seismic Slam ability as a main damage dealer, then you should add 3 more items to that list: Fjord Cutter, Bracers of Destruction and Fury of the Vanished Peak. Apart from the list, Might of the Earth doesn't provide much mobility in general, while Leap Attack is certainly great for skipping enemies and walls. Your attentiveness and cooldown reduction are the keys to success. Despite his strong output damage and great performance in the Great Rifts, farming bounties or rifts is not recommended with this set, and searching for all the items may steal some of your precious time. This set isn't a popular choice for farming new season, but if you are a solo player this will do just fine. And if you are a group player, consider switching Might of the Earth to another set, specifically Whirlwind for fishing, bounty farming, rifts and greater rift clears. Moving next, place number 5, we have Necromancer. After finishing chapter 4, players will receive Grace of Inarius set. Unfortunately, there are not many great builds for long-term playing Inarius, and people usually switch off this set to Bones of Rathma, Burning Carnival and Lot for the red speeds. But thanks to the overpowered soul shards, it might be useful in regular rifts, greater rifts and possibly bounty runs. With Steward Greaves and Bones Tornado, which comes from the 6-piece bonus, Inarius can easily attack several enemies at once items while maintaining high movement speed with the Blood Rush. Inarius is also quite tanky and deadly at the same time with the combination of 90s Binding, Aura of Frailty, Triggle's Fang and Crispin Ring, so cursed enemies will stand no chance. The downside of this build is the amount of items you need to find to become strong and not squishy. So if you are not really a patient player who wants to go Torment 16 ASAP, then starting fresh with Inarius will be a painful adventure. But once you collect all the items for Inarius, unless you find another set, it can certainly be good for low and mid farming, especially after upgrading soul shards. But he is still miles behind from Rathma set and Legacy of Dreams. I'd personally recommend starting Necromancer only if you plan to run DPS or Z-Nec role for red speed straight away for super fast Paragon farming, but the initial start can be really rough for this class. By the way, you can also check out my Blood Nova lot farming guide here in case you're looking for something different for casual play. Place number 4, Witch Doctor with Jade Harvester set. With the recent patch notes, Witch Doctors have finally moved to higher positions. This especially applies to Aerokir set and reworked Mojo Shukrani's Triumph, but Jade Harvester itself has not changed much. It is the same build as we played before, but this time it can also benefit from Shukrani with the Spirit Walk for extremely fast movement speed and damage boost with almost permanent invisibility for casually running rifts, possibly some bounties, and greater rifts. Additionally, it is relatively easy to complete this set. The hardest piece to find would be Ring of Emptiness with Quetzalcoatl Mask. The downside of this set, however, is the playstyle. It can be really slow in a group play, as Jade relies on Haunt and Locust Swarm dot damage. You will then need to constantly apply these skills to all new targets and then cast your Soul Harvest ability to deal the actual damage, and it is time consuming and not efficient for speeds. Although Wormwood weapon can help you autocast Locust Swarm, it will break your invisibility faster if used with Shukrani Mojo. Overall, it is a great set for a start. Jade has some decent damage against solo targets like bosses or elites, but with no Soul Harvester Dagger or Lakumba's Bracers, it can be really hard to get close to the enemy and survive the encounter on high difficulties. And now moving to our top number 3 class in my list, Wizard with the Firebird set. Despite many nerfs throughout history, Firebird is still pretty viable, but there will be no more mirror images. This is the only set from Hedric's Gift that has 7 pieces instead of 6, and any of these pieces can become ancient, which can be really beneficial to us. As a bonus, Firebird's Eye Orb has a guaranteed fire element roll, which also plays into our hands. Plus, Firebird doesn't require much to perform well. There are only 3 super important items: Fragment of Destiny for primary skill damage, Orb of Infinity Depth for toughness and damage output, and Shame of the Elseer Belt for insane attack speed and shield regen for more toughness, which come from our passives. It is an incredible set mainly used for late pushing high tier greater rifts after acquiring Crimson Set, Focus and Restrain rings. Firebird can also clear regular rifts, but this build is not so suitable because of limited range of abilities for Explosive Blast and Flame Blades. There are certainly better builds and sets for speed farming bounties and rifts than this, but I must say that Firebird really shines in pushing greater rifts, unlocking new levels and leveling up your legendary gems. Place number 2 is Sanvuku Monk. This was really hard for me to put monks on the second place, as Sanvuku is still pretty viable for all possible activities, bounties, keys, ubers, greater rifts, yet the most popular choice for all players will definitely be Inna's set, which completely annihilates this game, especially with the soul shards. Despite the fact that Sanvuku hasn't received any updates, it is still a decent reward straight out of Hedric's Gift. Although I must say that building efficient Sanvuku may take too much time and effort, because this set needs a lot of different kinds of gear to deal the actual damage with the Wave of Light skill. For that you will have to find Sokryn Spirit Stone, Vengeful Spirit, Kyoshiro Blade, Pinto's Pride, Grand Temple Staff and the Crudest Boots. And for our mobility it is essential to find Ingeom to remove move cooldown on dash and strike, and move for several seconds with no limits. Sanwoku can also be used with Tempest Rush instead, but it has less area of effect damage than Wave of Light skill, and you will need to find several items to make this work. Momentum Bracers, Feast Weapon, Balance Staff, and Metal of Channeling. There are certainly many possibilities with Sanwoku, it just depends on what you find first. It can be Tempest Rush, it can be Wave of Light pieces, or even Lashing Tail Kick. However, you don't have to complete Sanwoku build, because once you find all 6 pieces of Inna's set, you can forget about all other sets for monks. Again, it depends on your luck and patience. So overall place number 2 because Sanwoku is weaker than Inna and it requires you a lot of time to collect all important legendaries. And now the final place, number 1, the winner of this list is another dexterity class, Demon Hunter with Shadow's Mantle set. Probably the strongest set straight out of the pocket for his 2-piece bonus that gives massive damage boost with any daggers you equip. Moreover, there are only 2 daggers for this class, Lord Greenstone and Carlay's Point, which is what we need. Super easy to find, all you need is to get some materials and roll yellow daggers. And in no time you will significantly boost your impale damage. Another important item for impale skill is Holy Point Shot, and that's pretty much it. Believe me or not, it should be enough to go to T16 immediately, but in order to survive high difficulties we can use Super Nice Elusive Ring, Wraps of Clarity, Akiwa Cuirass since casting impale costs nothing if the target remains alive, and of course Chain of Shadows belt for our mobility. For the late game you can use Crimson set, Focus and Restrain Rings, or Ogil set. This is up to your preference. As a side note, I must say that while Shadow set provides great damage and mobility, it is mostly used for only in Greater Rifts because the range of impale is limited and doesn't cover much area. So if you wish to make a perfect build for speed farming, bounties and rifts, consider switching to God or at least Unhollowed set. Overall, Demon Hunter takes place number 1 because it is super easy to boost your damage and find important legendaries, and Shadow's Mantle is also a great choice to push high level Greater Rifts as early as possible. Plus, Demon Hunters have the best sets for farming all activities just like Inna and Sanwoku monks. Alright, now it's time to summarize the whole video with this class table where 1 plus represents the possibility to run a certain activity and 3 pluses 2 strongly capable classes. Again, this is just my personal preference and it may differ from yours. And with the overpowered soul shards, class performance can drastically change later, so it is hard to predict. If you wish to play this season just for the conquests and seasonal rewards, then I totally recommend you to start dex classes like monks or demon hunters, as they have many different area damage abilities and strong side bonuses. This will make the conquests like divinity, curses and the thrill as easy as pie. Other 2 conquests are mostly for advanced players, which require some time and preparations. Well, it's time to conclude this video. I believe many classes and many players will certainly conquer 150 GRs in solo and group within a few weeks. These soul shards have an insane power boost even for underpowered sets, and players can experiment with many different builds and play the way they really want. Even if Blizzard nerfs these soul shards, I believe the meta shift and starter sets will still remain intact. What do you think about these changes? What class are you going to play in the next season 25? Share your opinions in the comments. I hope you liked this video and the information was useful. Please consider subscribing to support my content. On this channel you will find many different showcase videos from PTR for Diablo 3 as well as Diablo 2, video guides, YouTube shorts with memes for different games, reviews and possibly some live streams in the future. I also have a website where I post different articles for different games and apps, so go check it out. Well, thank you for watching and listening. Stay tuned for more videos. Have a nice day, stay safe, and I see you guys in the next season 25.